We are back. We are back. What is up? Oh, there's an echo right here. Welcome to YAP session, the return. I don't know what season it is, but technically I've done 27 of these. If you're watching this and you don't know what this is, it's pretty much just, I like to think of it, oh my god, it's windy right now. It's a Pokemon Go podcast. It's my version of a Pokemon Go podcast. We pretty much just sit here and yap about a certain topic. You know, it could be anything from in-game features to political views on Pokemon. It's really been out there. And honestly, first thing I want to do is just shout out to everybody who's come up to me and said they like the YAP sessions. I took a break from them. Obviously, it's spring now. The weather, it's actually really nice today. It's 6 degrees in Ottawa, so the weather's gone a lot better. I took a break from them for the winter, though, because it was getting so cold. I just couldn't sit outside. People wanted me to do them inside, but then, obviously, we went on a huge trip, which we're going to talk about today. A lot of stuff to talk about, but nonetheless, the YAP sessions are back. Spring season is here. If you're excited, let me know in the comment section below. I'm excited to be back. So again, grab your popcorn, whatever you're doing, cooking dinner, going on a run, just watching the YAP sessions straight up. If that's how you roll, do it. Remember, you can also always listen to the YAP sessions on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the podcasts. So yeah, this is just a Pokemon Go podcast. At this point, it's the Pokédaxy podcast. Nonetheless, today we are talking about features in Pokemon Go that I think should come. And I have a lot of good ideas here, or that I've collected. Not all of them are my ideas, that I'm excited to share with you guys. And I'm excited to just hear your opinions on them and see if any of the ideas you guys have for Pokemon Go are on this list. But the first thing you might have noticed before we get into that, a little update on me. I don't know if you can see from this far, but one sec, let me get close up. Okay, wait, can you see me? I'm in the shade right now. Look at that. Yes, my ear has a hole in it. So, yeah, I got a pierced ear. The funny thing about this, I always wanted to get a pierced ear. The first thing is I wanted to get, you can barely see, I don't even know if you can see me, but I want to get a loop, and nobody told me that when you pierce your ear, all the girls should have told me this, but you actually can't put a loop in until it heals. So I can't actually put the piercing I want in it for a while. So for now, we're just kind of have a stud. But the funny thing is, if you don't know, I'm actually training for a triathlon. And when I went to pierce my ear yesterday, the girl's like, oh, so like, yeah, you're not allowed to go swimming in pools, all this stuff, like, you know, standard stuff so it doesn't get infected. And I was like, you know what, that's not a big deal. I don't go swimming. It's not a big deal. And for some reason, it completely blanked my mind that I am running the Muskoka Half Ironman in July in 3 months, and I'm running a triathlon before that to train for it, and I need to swim in a pool to train for it. So I don't really know what I'm going to do about that. If anybody has ideas on how I can, like, I was thinking like putting a plastic bag over it, let me know. But that's a little update on me. I did pierce my ear. We did also just get back from our 1 month trip. We went to Australia. You guys saw the videos from there. We went to Japan for 2 weeks. There's a bunch of videos that haven't dropped from the Japan trip that will be coming out that are, like, I'm going to say probably going to be some of my best videos ever, I would say. So stay tuned for those. And then we went to India for a week where we already posted all the videos and the content from India, but that was an absolute blast. Shout out to the India community. You guys were amazing. So I'm a little jet lagged right now. I'm a little tired. I've been kind of sleeping, but I've been taking this malaria pill, and it really doesn't make me sleep well. It actually gives me the craziest dreams. I had a dream that I think I was like an Infernape and I was fighting a Dragonite. Like, that was a dream. Like, dude, these malaria pills, they do something to you. Nonetheless, I am back here. I'm also a little bit sick right now. I have a little bit of a cold. But, you know, it's to be expected. I've come back to a cold country from being in very hot countries for a bit. So, nonetheless, that's how I'm doing. I'm doing good. Hopefully you guys are doing well, and hopefully you're excited for the return of the YAP sessions. We're going to get right into it. I'm going to go find a new spot, and we're going to start talking about the features that should come to Pokemon Go. That honestly, some of these, by the way, are going to be like, this is what I'm going to say about this episode is, technically we call them Scolply now, actually. That's crazy, actually. I haven't done a YAP session since the acquisition. Scolply, or Niantic/Scolply, I don't know how far they are on the transition, I think they have added a lot of features that have been wanted in Pokemon Go. So they have been doing a good job, but there's some features still that I'm like, I don't really know why they're not in Go yet. And the reason I'm actually making this video is because I hope that Scolply, the new company, although it's like the same team running it, hopefully things change, and a lot of these features and feedback I'm able to give right now can be like pushed to the forefront and added now that Niantic is no longer in control, and hopefully the game can start to change. So this is actually a really good opportunity, by the way, before I get too deep into it. I do have contacts with Niantic. So any features you guys have or ideas you have, drop them in the comment section below. I will pass them on to Niantic as long as it's not an idea that is completely beneficial towards yourself, like put 1,000 Mewtwo's in my account. Imagine I was like, can you put Trainer Jimmy, give him 1,000 Mewtwo's? That's an update we want. No, nonetheless, this is, I think, the best time for us to try to make a change to the game and improve the game as much as we can. So I think this is a good opportunity for you guys to go ahead, drop in the comments features, maybe watch the episode first, because all these features I've talked about here have been given as feedback. So if your idea is talked about in this video already, then maybe don't comment it. But if you have an idea after this that hasn't been talked about in this episode, let's get into it. Anyway, I'm sure you guys want me to start talking, stop yapping, although that's like literally the whole point of this. I always get off track. And you know, it's not gonna change because that's just who I am. Anyway, let me go find a spot, let's sit down and let's get right into it. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna work, but I found a wheel. Oh, it's actually pretty comfortable. So we're gonna talk about stuff in this wheel. Oh no, it's gonna start turning away from you guys. Okay, but let's get into the first one. Now, this is actually something that has been data mined a lot recently, and I could see it actually dropping during GoFest this season. By the way, I'm super excited for GoFest. I actually just booked my ticket to Japan GoFest. I was on the fence whether I was gonna go to that, but I will officially be going to all 3 GoFests. So if you're in Osaka, I'll see you there. If you're in Jersey City, I will see you there. And if you're in Paris, 1,000% I will see you there, because if you don't know, Pokemama is actually not born in Paris, but born in France, and she kind of grew up there. So I got family there, so 100% I will be there. And I will be there with Casual Coops, as well as Sarah, my girlfriend, which some of you guys saw in the Australia video. She will be there. Hopefully she'll be playing Pokemon Go by then. I'm going to force her. She actually does want to play. A lot of people were like, oh, like Sarah doesn't play Pokemon Go. Why does she just play Pokemon Go? She just never played it. And we have plans to make a video where I teach her how to play. So if you want to see that, let me know. She's not against playing Pokemon Go. She's not, dude, just saying, I wouldn't be dating somebody who doesn't like Pokemon Go. Let's just make that clear out there. But nonetheless, stay tuned for that video, I guess, when we teach an absolute noob how to play Pokemon Go and I can bully my girlfriend. Don't send her this, guys. Okay, nonetheless, bottle caps. Bottle caps is the feature that I think will come for GoFest. It's been data mined. Now, if you don't know what a bottle cap is, in the main series Pokemon games, how a bottle cap will work. Sorry, a bottle cap will work is going to increase one of your 6 IV points. So in the main series games, Pokemon actually have 6 stats, not 3. And what the bottle cap does is it's going to increase your IV points to maxed out. So yes, in Pokemon Go, you can't change your IVs once you catch a Pokemon, but you can hyper train a Pokemon in the main series games with a bottle cap and increase the IVs. So we'll probably end up seeing this come to Pokemon Go, hopefully soon, because it's been data mined, but it is a feature 100% I think should come. And I think the best way to kind of explain why I think this should come was something that I was talking to the Trainer Club Billy about in India, and he made a really, really good point, is that Pokemon Go is not a game where you're a trainer, you're a catcher. Oh no, I'm turning away again. I'm just gonna keep talking. You're a catcher. So when you play Pokemon Go, you wanna catch as many Pokemon as you can. You wanna find the best Pokemon you can. And that's important, you know, that's part of the Pokemon franchise. But in the main series games, you catch Pokemon and then you level them up. You can bottle cap them to increase their IVs. You can change their moves. Like you can take a Pokemon that, like, you can take your Pokemon on Route 1 and you can turn it into a level 100, maxed out IVs, you know, cool, like the best nature, the best ability, like hidden abilities. This is all stuff from the main series games, but you're really training a Pokemon, and Pokemon Go doesn't have that. It's like, if you catch a bad IV Pokemon, you can power it up, but there's not much else you can do to make it better. So that's why I think bottle caps would be amazing, because it's going to turn Pokemon Go from less of a game where you're a catcher and more into a trainer. Now, bottle caps can, of course, be broken. I think how it's going to be released is that you can increase one stat by 1 point. Some people are saying that bottle caps should work where you can choose, or like every stat will go up 1 point. Maybe they'll do that. My guess is that they're going to stick it to, like, you choose one stat and then that stat will go up by 1 point. And I think it's actually very important. A lot of people are saying that this is going to make hundos unrare because it's going to turn 98s into hundos. I think the best way to do bottle caps is, as long as when you increase that stat, that extra part of the bar should be a different color than that red we have when it's a hundo. So I think, like, if you bottle cap a Pokemon, it would be 14 like points the like 14 points of attack, and then there'd be a little red or like a little blue icon at the end saying, oh, this was bottle capped to 15 IVs. And statistically, it would be the same as a hundo, but it would make it clear that that Pokemon was bottle capped. They have this in the main series games as well. If a Pokemon is a perfect IV, it's going to say it has the best stats. But if it's hyper trained, it's going to be, or bottle capped, it says it's been bottle capped. So I think that's the best way to do the bottle cap feature. I do hope it comes during GoFest. I could see it coming along the lines, this is actually getting really uncomfortable. I could see it coming along the lines of being like lucky trinkets, where we only get a lucky trinket every once in a while. Same thing with bottle caps. Like, I don't think you're going to get like 15 bottle caps, or you'll be able to buy bottle caps. I think it's going to be an item from a special research story that you can get one of every 3 months. And I think that's the best way to do it. It's going to make it not broken. But I do really love the idea of bottle caps. I am excited for them to come because, again, they have been data mined. It would be funny if they actually just been data mined, but they never come. Actually, that wouldn't be funny. That'd be kind of sad. But bottle caps, 100%, is the number one thing that I think would make Pokemon Go a lot better, and I hope that Scopely does integrate this. The number two thing, a lock feature. This has been, look, this is the first thing I'm going to talk about here that has been talked about for the longest time. Now, purifying Pokemon can be a mistake. I'm not going to sit here and say every Pokemon should be purified. The general rule of thumb is don't purify your Pokemon. I think there are some instances where I'm like, okay, it's all right to purify your Pokemon. Like, for example, like some people were purifying their Shadow Shiny Hodos into Shundos. I think it makes sense to purify a Pokemon if the normal version is better and it would turn into a Hundo, but the Shadow version isn't good. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense, but like, let's say like the normal version of a Legendary is just way, way better than the Shadow version, and you could turn it into a Hundo. Like, maybe not. Maybe I take that back. Nonetheless, don't purify your Shadow Pokemon. And the best way to do this would be to have a lock feature. And this has been talked about for a long time. I've accidentally purified Shadows. I'm sure some of you guys have accidentally pressed that purify button. I think, again, it goes back to we want to become trainers, not catchers, in which you can train a Pokemon up. You know, you can max it out, double move it, get all this stuff, and then you can click the lock feature and be like, that Pokemon is now locked, and unless I unlock it, I can't edit this Pokemon's attacks, all this stuff, I can't touch it. I think, again, it just goes to show, like, hey, once a Pokemon has been bottle capped, has the best IVs, it's been maxed out, all that stuff, you can lock it and be like, that's a complete Pokemon. That Pokemon is now part of my collection. It has a nickname. It has a connection to me. You know, there's a lot of Pokemon, like even my most maxed out Pokemon, like my Hundo Mewtwo, I don't feel that connected to it because I just did 1,000 raids until I caught a perfect Mewtwo. I didn't train it up to get to that point. So I think that is 100% a feature that I would love to see, a lock feature to stop with purifying Pokemon. The second feature that I think, I don't know how long this has taken to come out to Pokemon Go, is open and send all gifts. There's not much to be said about this. Sending gifts in Pokemon Go, super slow. Opening gifts in Pokemon Go, super slow. You have to do it one at a time. Can Niantic just drop a feature where you can just, maybe just like even bulk select a lot of Pokemon or trainers and just send them all gifts? You know what I mean? Or open, like say, hey, I want to select all these trainers, open all their gifts at once. Don't know why that's not a feature in Pokemon Go. That is probably, I'm going to say this feature right here is the most anticipated feature in Pokemon Go that we should have had years ago. I don't know how it hasn't dropped. I hope Scopely is going to take the reins and finally add this feature because, yeah, no, I don't even want to get into it because it just makes me mad how it's not in Pokemon Go. Now, Legendary Pokemon, in the past, your 7-day research breakthrough box used to get you, excuse me, a Legendary Pokemon. Number one, bring that feature back. I don't know why we don't have other ways for people to get free Legendary Pokemon, especially level 15 Legendary Pokemon that are available to be used in the Great League. Like, there are certain Pokemon that are legendaries that the only way to get one for the Great League, like Giratina, is to get a level 15 and trade it down. It would be cool if every week from your 7 research breakthrough box, you can get a legendary. I don't think legendaries are so rare at this point in the game and so hard to get that it would be too much to give everybody a legendary Pokemon. I think it would just be a good way, especially to just help rural players, free-to-play players, to just kind of get more on the level of everybody else. They 100% have to bring that back. But also, on the topic of legendary Pokemon, I think the feature I hate the most in Pokemon Go is catching legendary Pokemon. When you defeat a raid boss, that is the challenge to get your legendary Pokemon. Why do you have to team up with trainers, take on a legendary and beat it, which is hard, like, it's not that hard nowadays, but like, it can be hard. Like, Registeel is not easy to take down, and it takes a lot of time. It can take up to 5 minutes. And then there's another challenge where you have to catch the legendary Pokemon. I think legendaries should just be like easier to catch. Okay, wait, maybe not that. I don't think legendaries should be easier to catch all the time. Maybe just a little bit easier, but I think specifically during events that are like the global events, Go Fest, Go Tour, Wild Area, big major promoted events, it takes away so much from these events when you're like, all these cool shiny Pokemon, there's shiny boosts in the wild, all that stuff, and then you do a Palkia raid, and you're spending 10 minutes chucking balls at this thing. It just completely ruins the experience, and honestly, I don't want to use the word workflow, because that doesn't really make sense, but like, the flow of the event, like you're having fun, you're doing research, all that stuff, and then bang, pause. You have to catch this Pokemon for 10 minutes. And it can be exciting, don't get me wrong, when you first start playing Pokemon Go. Oh my God, did I catch that legendary? Oh my God. Oh, I caught it on the last ball. Super exciting. But, you know, I'm not going to lie. I think even new trainers, after their first raid hour, by the 5th, 6th raid, they're like, okay, this is getting annoying. So I think just making it easier to catch legendaries during events would be amazing. Even during things like raid hour, I think not only would it promote more people to play those events because they know that they can get legendaries easier, but I think it would just make the game just much smoother if legendaries were just like, I don't know, easier to catch. Like, there's not much else to say about that, but yeah, you guys know, like, everybody knows legendaries are just super, super annoying to catch. Okay, let me change location because it's getting uncomfortable, and let's keep, we'll continue to talk about this stuff. Okay, we've switched to a swing, which is much more comfortable. Hopefully this doesn't make me too sick though, because I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm getting a headache. Okay, let's move on to the next feature. I have a little list here. Okay, this one, I think, this is what I'm going to say. This feature, I wouldn't care too much if it came, but it has been a feature that has been talked about for a long, long time. Now, if you don't know, you can actually run from your field research Pokemon, and they will put them into the research stack. If you ever notice, like, above your 3 research tasks, your field research tasks, there's a Pokemon encounter. That's because you didn't catch it. Think of it as like a bank for Pokemon encounters. Like, if you run from them, they'll get thrown up there, and then you can encounter them at any point. And it's very useful for events, you know, saving like Pokemon that are boosted on Stardust and then catching them during a 3x Stardust event. Like, it's a very effective feature, but you can only hold up to 100 of them. So pretty much how it works is when you run from a Pokemon, it's going to be put in there, and then the next Pokemon you run from is going to be put behind that, and it's like a long list of 100 Pokemon. Once you start running from more than 100, you're going to start deleting the first encounter, the newest encounter. So you can only hold up to 100. And now this is not a really supported feature. Niantic has made it clear that they don't really support this feature. But I don't know, it's been in the game so long, it's been useful, it's been utilized. I think at this point Scopely needs to just, I got to get used to doing that. Needs to just dive in and appreciate the feature. And hopefully Scopely does do that by adding a counter on how many Pokemon you have in your research stack. It would even be cool if you could go into your research stack and pick, like, you click into that encounter and it'll show you all your encounters, and you can pick and choose which one you encounter. Now, I don't know if that'd be too broken, but I do think this feature has just been in Pokemon Go for a long, long time. And I don't see why Niantic doesn't just allow us to hold up to 100 field research stack Pokemon and have a counter for them, or even allow us to go in and individually choose which Pokemon they want to encounter. Because it can be annoying when you are stacking field research stack Pokemon and you stack some Stardust ones, and then you stack some Pokemon that are easy excellent throws for 3x XP events, but you can't go in and just encounter the ones you want. You have to encounter them in order. So it would be nice if Scopely, man, I gotta start hitting myself every time I get that wrong. But yeah, it would be nice if they decide to add that. Will they? I don't know. This is a little bit lower on my list of things I want to come to Pokemon Go. Moving on, the next one is one that, again, has been talked about for the longest time. And actually, I think Billy the Trainer Club was the guy who really has been advocating for this for the past 4 years. And one thing I will say, though, is Billy the Trainer Club, again, I got to talk to him a lot in India, which was cool, but having seen all his videos where in the past he talked about all these features that should come to Pokemon Go, a lot of them are actually finally starting to come to Pokemon Go. Billy's actually been talking about bottle caps for a very, very long time. It's actually just been talked about in the community for a very, very long time. So I will say, it is cool that there are, like, these features are finally being implemented, and maybe they were, like, the development of them just took so long. But this is why I want to make this video, because I think it's, like, it's not like it lands on dead ears. Like, it still seems like these features are being worked on, and there is a potential to get some of these in the future. Nonetheless, unlimited incubator is what I was going to talk about. When you reach level 50, or no, just in Pokemon Go, you only have one free unlimited incubator to hatch eggs. And it's fine, but it's really, like, unless you pay money, egg hatching is not a viable strategy to hunt shinies, all that stuff. Like, if you get one, cool, but it's not that viable. But when you grind 176 million XP, you do a bunch of tasks, you do over 1,000 Excellent throws to hit level 50, you should get another free unlimited incubator. You should get another free something. Like, maybe it doesn't have to be an unlimited incubator, but there should be some sort of reward for, like, I don't know, another free raid pass. So you can do 2 free raids every day if you're above level 50. Like, I think there just needs to be, like, there are rewards for hitting level 50, but there needs to be something like, hey, because, like, let me just say this. Hitting level 50, if you're level 50, I do not think you're a casual player. You worked hard for that. You play Pokemon Go a lot, and you are a dedicated fan. And I think Pokemon Go should reward dedicated fans and be like, hey, you did this. Here's this exclusive thing for playing our game so much. Because a casual player is not going to hit level 50. Level 40 is hard for somebody who maybe picks up Pokemon Go and opens it for 5 minutes a day. You have to be dedicated, follow the top strategies, follow the tips, play almost every event to really hit level 50. It takes, I think, a minimum. Like, if you can grind if you already had 176 million XP, it takes, like, I think 3 to 6 months minimum to get to level 50, because there's so many time-gated and difficult tasks to do. So, like, 35 platinum medals, to get 35 platinum medals in Pokemon Go, I think that's going to take you at least 6 months. Because, like, I'm trying to think what platinum medals you could do that are so easy that you could do those in like less than 6 months. Like, it's hard. So again, I think just some sort of reward for these trainers will be so good. And hopefully Niantic does decide to add, Scopely does decide to add an unlimited incubator. Will they ever add one? This is the one that I don't really, like, it makes so much sense in my mind, but I also at the same time, I just don't see them doing it. But again, it's a new company, it's Scopely, maybe they're different. Okay, Scatterbug is something I've been big on. I've been telling you guys, pin your gifts every day for Scatterbug, because Scatterbug is one of the rarest shinies. I still don't have a shiny Scatterbug. I have over, like, 100 encounters with it. But the one thing that annoys me about Scatterbug is when I'm pinning gifts, once you get enough gifts pinned for a Scatterbug encounter, it will no longer count your pinned gifts towards the next encounter for that region. So I think Niantic should add a very simple notification that when you pin enough gifts for a Scatterbug encounter, similar to how your research will update in the corner, in the bottom right, it should say Scatterbug encounter available. This is a really small thing, and maybe it's very nitpicky, but I think it would just be such a great little feature where you're pinning your gifts, and then it's like, okay, you've pinned enough gifts for a Scatterbug encounter, go encounter it, and then continue to pin gifts. Maybe I'm being too nitpicky. Maybe I just love Scatterbug and I want the shiny so bad. But let me know if you think that's a good idea. I think that would just be a very simple quality of life feature they could add. They do have the feature where if you do get enough, you actually do get a notification on the main screen. So if you, like, back out, and it'll say, like, oh, you got a polar encounter, and then you click OK, and it gives you the encounter. But I think that should just be turned into a little icon in the bottom right, because when I'm pinning the gifts is when I don't want to, like, every gift I pin go back to the main screen to see if I got the encounter. You know what I mean? Like, just gets kind of annoying. Speaking of, actually, this is not a good transition at all, but we're just going to jump into the next one, deleting eggs. This has been something that I still, to this day, don't know why we can't do this. If you don't know, eggs actually count towards your Pokemon storage. An egg, like, you technically have 12 less egg or storage spots in Pokemon Go because an egg will take your storage. And if you have max storage in Pokemon Go, I don't believe you can collect eggs. Actually, is that true? I'm not sure. I've never tested that. But nonetheless, eggs go towards your storage. But if you don't know, when a new event in Pokemon Go starts, and let's say we get an exclusive egg pool, like, actually today is Tyrogue Hatch Day, so from 2 to 5 p.m., which is right now actually, anytime you spin a Pokestop, you'll get a 2-kilometer egg that hatches into a Tyrogue guaranteed. But going into that event, all my eggs that are 2-kilometer eggs, that I already have will not hatch into Tyro because they're old eggs. So it would be an amazing feature if I could just, instead of having to hatch all the eggs in my storage, just delete them, delete the eggs I don't want, because you can scroll down and see what an egg will hatch into. Delete them, scroll down, and then get the new egg. Why do I have to hatch all the eggs I don't want to hatch to get the eggs I want to hatch? I think it almost would make Scopely more money by doing this, because then people would actually be able to instantly start playing the events they want and hatch more of the eggs they want to hatch. Like, it disincentivizes me, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to go play this event because I already have all these eggs and I have to walk 5 kilometers to hatch them before I can even start playing the event. Deleting eggs, we've talked about it before. Again, something that 100% should come to Pokemon Go. Now, I was talking to Casual Coops. If you don't know, he's a good friend of mine, ex-Pokemon Go YouTuber. He fell off hard. I'm kidding. I joke around with him. And one thing he was talking to me about, because we were talking about Lucky Trinket, and I was telling him, I was forcing him to use his Lucky Trinket on me so we could Lucky Trade in Paris at GoFest. And he was saying, why don't we have a Lucky Global Trinket? Now, the Lucky Trinket is a great item. I really like how they added the Lucky Trinket. It allows you to go Lucky Friends with anyone. It's amazing for in-person events and global events like GoFest, because you're like, you catch a cool Pokemon and you're like, oh my God, I want to Lucky Trade this right now. Bang, Lucky Trinket, we're Lucky Friends. You don't have to wait on hitting Lucky Friends and prep in advance. But why don't they add a Lucky Global Trade, or some sort of like one-time trinket? It doesn't have to be a trinket, metal, that you can use on a friend, similar to a Lucky Trinket, and allows you to do a global trade with them. Obviously we've talked about this before. Niantic's mission, technically it's Scopely now, or is it even Pokemon Go's mission? Who knows? Is to get trainers outside, get people in communities, and they don't want to keep helping off, like supporting global features, like global trades. They want people to meet up in person. But I don't see the reason why they can't just add an item that is a one-time use item that you get one of every 3-6 months that allows you to do a global trade. Like, I don't need to do 1,000 global trades a week, but one global trade every 6 months, I think would be huge. The interesting thing I was actually thinking about, and especially why I think this should come to Pokemon Go, is because although Niantic doesn't really support global features, if you think about it, there are features in Pokemon Go, like Scatterbug, which do force you to actually have a global friend base. Like, if you want to get different Scatterbug encounters, you do need to have friends from all around the world. So there are still features like remote raids, same thing with that. Sorry. There are features still in Pokemon Go that do like support globalness, so I don't see why we couldn't have an item that allows us to do global Lucky Trade. Again, will they add it, will they not? I don't know, but this brings us down to our final feature here, which I'm actually excited to show because somebody sent me this. Now, backgrounds, in my opinion, are some of the coolest things in Pokemon Go, and somebody sent me this idea, backgrounds displayed on the trainer page. Had an idea this morning for Scopely. How cool would it be if they allowed backgrounds to show up on your trainer page? Made a quick mock-up, ignore the flaws. Now, I think backgrounds are some of the coolest features, or like, I just really like the background Pokemon. I don't know why. I just think they add some sort of a special exclusivity to them. I really also like how they added the Enigma backgrounds that were featured around N's Pokemon for the Unova region. So I do hope that they decide to continue to bring backgrounds, especially like, imagine they did like an Ash background and you could get like a cool Pikachu with an Ash background. I think it's like, for me, it's almost like a cooler costume Pokemon, the background. But wouldn't this be sick? Because when a Pokemon is here in your trainer page, you can't really tell if it has a background, you can't really tell the IVs, all that stuff, unless the trainer nicknames the Pokemon. So it'd be cool if there was more flexibility in which a background Pokemon would show as a background. I also think it would be cool on the trainer page if you could see the IVs or have the option to click in and see the IVs of that Pokemon. Because when you're flexing Shundos as your buddy, like, I don't know if that's a Shundo Kyurem or not. I don't know if the IVs are good or not. Like, cool, you have a black Kyurem that's a shiny, but is it a Shundo? You know what I mean? Like, I can't see the CP, all that stuff. So just to have more like flex potential, I think this is an amazing idea. I've actually already passed this idea on to Scopely and the Niantic team, or I don't even know what we're calling them anymore. So hopefully this does come to Pokemon Go. Hopefully they do decide to add this, because I think this is a really, really cool idea. Shout out to Aaron. When I see that name, I think Aaron from the Key and Peele sketch. But yeah, I think that is a really cool feature. Hopefully they come. to Pokemon Go. Final thing I'm going to talk about actually here is quality of life. They've added a lot of quality of life features. I love how you can speed up the gift animation now, or you could always do that, but the gift animation, you can skip that. You can speed up egg hatching animation. Trading has been, I can't speak right now. Trading has been sped up as well, but I do hope Niantic continue to add quality of life features where we can maybe even skip the trading animation or like vastly speed it up and skip the evolution animation or vastly speed it up. You can do this with the egg hatching animation, you know, when you tap in and it goes way faster. Why do we not have this for evolving? Why do we not have this for trading? There's probably other things, like powering up Pokemon. Like, I don't know how often you're powering up Pokemon, but like, just every feature in Pokemon Go should be able to be sped up because it's obviously cool the first time you do it. Like, oh, you evolve this Pokemon for the Dex. I want to see that. But after you do it 1,000 times, and going back to the saying, like, Pokemon Go is a game of catching, hatching. You're doing these features over and over again until you get the best IV or the shiny or whatever. And after a while of doing it over and over again, it gets boring. This is why we use the quick catch technique, because watching a ball shake 3 times is brutal after you've caught 100,000 Pokemon. So I think Niantic should Scopely should invest in just speeding up everything. Speed it up. Because maybe I'm just speaking as a veteran player, but I think everyone would just appreciate if time is an asset. And playing the game, you don't want to be wasting time doing actions that are not fun. You know, you want to be clicking on as many Pokemon as you can as quickly as possible. You want to be battling. You want to be doing all these things that are the enjoyable part of Pokemon Go. But watching a ball shake 3 times, unless, you know, you're catching a Shundo and, you know, you want to make the moment special, it's just not that fun, bro. It's not that fun. If I wanted to do that, I would just screen record it, sit in my dark room and just watch a ball shake, which I feel like is going to be what I'm going to dream about tonight because of those malaria pills. But man, I should have said that because now it's in my brain. Okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Hopefully they add that. Okay, guys, that's kind of all I got. There's a lot of other features that I feel like I just wasn't able to think about right now, but this is the perfect opportunity to pass off to you guys. Again, if you have ideas that I didn't mention in this video that you think would be great for Scopely to add, put them in the comments. I'm going to read them. If they're good, I'm going to pass them on to the team. So, yes, thank you. Oh my God, I can't speak. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the return of YAP sessions. We're going to be doing one every single week for the next little while. So make it part of your schedule, lock it in, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. Okay, nonetheless, thank you guys for yapping with me. And yeah, we'll catch you all next week in another YAP session. Peace.